Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about GermanPod101 and how I use it for my German mission. I attempted to use FrenchPod101 years ago, found it very helpful, but didn't consider it my main resource, and it turns out I was using it incorrectly. So today I'm going to show you how I am doing a better job of using the resource GermanPod101 for learning German from scratch. The first thing that I do, and I'll show you some screenshots during this, is I go to the dashboard and I decide on a learning track. So in this case, I'm learning German from the very beginning series. So I picked level 1 German. When I sit down and listen to them, it's like 10-minute lessons. The first few lessons were a 3-minute, learn 3-minute German. Loved them. They were packed full of information. When I was doing it with French, I just used it as a podcast and I was listening to it on the go. That's useful. I love doing that. I still do that when I want to just have some passive listening. But to really understand German, what I do is I sit down probably 3 to 4 times a week for a 10-minute session. I take a dry erase board and I write down what they're saying as they're saying it. So I've got the screen up with the dialogue, and then I'm listening to them and I'm writing down things that are important to me. After I've gone through and listened to the dialogue a few times, then I listen to the actual lesson, which is really nice. It's this dialogue between a native speaker and a German learner, but it's a high-level German learner, someone who's been speaking German for a while. And they explain maybe 1 or 2 key grammatical concepts. So not too much, but just enough for me to look very impressive to my German teachers. When my German tutor wanted to tell me about sentence structure and where the placement of the verbs are, I already knew it because I had done it in my very easy GermanPod101 lesson, so I found that incredibly helpful. After the lesson is over, I then take the dialogue, which is written out, and I transcribe parts of it into my notebook. So I'll put mit GermanPod101 with GermanPod101 for the entry, and then I'll write down anything that I find very interesting. So the placement of verbs is very important. So I explained how to place verbs in my journal. It's just a second way to kind of let it wash over, but also to produce it, not just to accept it into my brain. And then I'll do like sentences that I find very important. So a lot of sentences that they have, they're doing like, how are you learning German? And are you visiting Germany? Then there are other ones that might be helpful to others, like, do you want to go on a picnic and what kind of fruit salad would you like? I don't really need to know about fruit and fruit salad, so I don't write that in my journal unless I find it necessary for me. I stick to the me-specific terms. I take what works and leave the rest. After that, one of the things that I like is every now and then they give you quizzes, just pop quizzes. And if you pass the quiz with a 70% or greater, then they suggest you continue forward. If you don't pass, they say go back a few lessons and review. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm not a big quiz person. As many of my language learning friends will attest to, I refuse to take any language exams. I'm done with exams for my life, but pop quizzes, not so bad, not so difficult. And they don't take very long. You know, there may be 10 questions, maybe 15 questions, maybe they take me 10 minutes at most. So it's something that I can do. And it also gives me an idea of, that was easy for me. I actually understood that. So that's very helpful. I really like the quizzes. And I also like knowing, okay, I'm on track. Okay, that was one thing that I missed. Like if I got 2 wrong, I'd go back and I'd just look at those 2 things, and either it'd be like just an easy mistake or it'd be something that I need to review this, I didn't know. So that is how I'm using GermanPod101 now. Highly recommend it. Actually really like it. Wish I had known how to use it. It would have helped if I had, if I had read the instructions and talk to someone from FrenchPod101. Instead, I just stubbornly did whatever I wanted, and I don't feel like I got as much out of it. There's also some really cool things, like you can pick different learning tracks. Before my trip was canceled because of all that's been going on lately, I wanted to do Before You Travel Survival German. That was a track, and speaking at a restaurant. So they have specific tracks that you can pick, like, I want to learn restaurant language, this vocabulary, this is the track that I want to take. So yeah, I'm really enjoying GermanPod101. I typically love books, like paper books, and I'm not missing them because they're giving me just enough to wake up my curiosity, absorb the information. Sometimes I do 2 lessons at the same time, like 2 lessons back to back, But if I don't have time, I can easily fit one lesson in a day. So that's it. I hope that helps you.